Welcome, family. I want to welcome you in on today. I want to first of all, I want to thank those who come into my channel and who is new to this channel. I want to start off, I want to introduce myself. My name is Deborah Williams, and I come to give a little encouragement and share videos for those who may feeling down at moments and just need a little more encouragement, inspiring. Be inspired and lifted up a little bit. But on today, the message that I'm going to give to you today is I'm going to talk about barriers. I'm going to talk about how to trumpet your barriers, how to trumpet barriers for your success, how to cut through those barriers in your life when it comes to starting new beginnings and making challenges with things that you face when it comes to stepping into the light, out of the dark side forces, things that's forcing you not to be able to meet them challenges that you're facing. There's times when we have to learn to step out that dark side. We have to learn to step into and utilize our strength when it comes to the strength. And I always talk about the mind, your body, within your soul. You have to learn how to utilize that strength, and set up that willpower within and be more determined in order to overcome barriers, in order to overcome challenges in life that you're facing. You have to learn to focus on the potentials and the things that you're trying to develop, these new beginnings from all the barriers from the past, from that dark side, from that side that no longer serve you, in order to complete your success story. Everybody have a story in their life. So you have to be able to trumpet those barriers in order to complete those success stories within your life. You have to know the areas in life of those challenges that's challenging you, that's trying to stop you from completing what it is you're trying to complete when we starting something new in our life. It's sometimes where you have to think about barriers, and you have to think about that two-edged sword. You have one side, and I talked about that once in one of my videos, where you have you have a sword, and when the sword playing in that area of that dark side, you have one side of that sword that's want the clarity, and then you have the other side of the sword that's keeping everything cloudy from giving you the clarity within that mindset, making you feel that you can't overcome these barriers. So that's why mentally you have to make up in your mind, make that choice to understand what it is you need to do to face those challenges when you're dealing with things within your life that's keeping you in that dark moment. Yeah, so mentally you have to make yourself feel like you have to make yourself feel, and your soul feel in a sense of construct well, I should say you have to throw away that sword and get the clarity, clear your mind set. I want to say that mentally, so you could be able to feel within your soul, um, you you able to be very constructive in what it is you're trying to challenge when it comes to the constructive part of this thing, the underlying thing that you're trying to challenge yourself with. And then you have to understand that once you find that constructive, um, what I'm trying to say, once you find that constructive part of this challenge, then that's holding you back due to this barrier. Um, then your ability to start walking and facing the challenge that you're challenging. That's the way I'm gonna put that, because I was gonna talk about the constructive part of it, because breaking the barrier is constructive, finding that constructive side of it in order to move past and in order to go down the path in the right way. You have to seek that clarity of what's really stopping you from um, putting getting the strength within, being determined within, and getting through this problem or getting through these issues or this barrier. And I'm gonna call the barriers from that dark side. They could be issues, that could be circumstances, anything that you're trying to start through this path, through this journey. You have to really think of it in a constructive way, in order to go down that path in the right way. It's all about, that sword is all about seeking that clarity and getting that negative um, thought away from the mind when you're trying to complete the barriers, or when you're trying to complete something new that's hindering you from completing that. Yeah, when it comes to the barrier, you have to be more constructive with it. That's what I want to say. You have to trust yourself more. This is why you have to take control. And it's very important that you learn to take control of the constructive side of it when it comes to your thinking, because you're trying to break something, you're breaking a barrier, and you're trying to and you're trying to break all them barriers that's holding you back from getting what it is you need, or getting to the point you're trying to get to. So yeah, I know the new year coming in, and this is one thing I just don't believe. I don't really study on New Year resolutions, and I kind of got out that mindset, because the reason why is because when you say a New Year's resolution, it's like you only do it for that year, and then once that year, you challenging yourself for that 1 year, and then once you do it that 1 year, you say, I did it just for the new year. And see, when it coming out of the dark side, I had to learn that when you breaking a barrier, you can't just do it for that one length of time. You have to keep doing it. It's like keep doing it, because you have to be able to clap back and regain that power, regain your mental power in order for you to break the barriers. So when it comes to your clarity, that's why it's important when it comes to clarity of breaking this barrier, you have to be able to maintain, every emotion that affect your inner that affects your inner thoughts mentally. It all this is one big circle, barrier, and then inner thoughts mentally, because this is something mentally you're trying to do. Um, when you looking at, I'm not gonna say the sword, because barriers is part of the sword, because the sword is clarity, and you trying to seek into that clarity throughout your mind mentally, and you're trying to get away from all them negative ways and them negative thoughts. So you got to be careful when it comes to the sword, because the sword has so many ways it could take you. It could be a negative thing, like I say, one side of it could be negative, and the other side could be positive. So that's why it's very important that you not let that destroy your mind when it comes to breaking the barrier. This way, you will be able to learn new, or you need to learn new ways of thinking when it comes to challenges, facing challenges, and fighting barriers in your life, because it's all a mental picture. It's all the mental picture of it. And that's why it's very important that the sword, you looking at the sword in a way of that two-sided sword, in a way of getting clarity within in all types of ways, because it's very important that you have clarity within yourself, because you don't want to damage what it is you're trying to do when it comes to your new beginnings in life, because that's where some people don't understand that we all go through life under circumstances, and every time we talk about doing something new in our life, and as always, if you really pay attention, only time people really try to, you know, let our mind be weak, and then when it comes to a new year, everybody say, oh, it's a new year, I'm finna do this different, I'm gonna do this different. But we have to stay on that path, because we can't allow, because it's a new year, going to new beginnings and then get back off the path. We have to stay in that path. That's the sword. That's the sword. That's what I'm saying. The sword could be very tricky, and you got to know how to stay positive when it comes to the sword, because the sword is two-edged. You have a negative side, like I say, and you have a positive side of the sword. So I'm talking about sword is because I felt with this message, the sword was very important to bring across with this message, because sometimes we have to understand that in life we do carry mentally things within our mind that we're thinking, or things in our mind that we doing. That's why I say constructive things that we do. We have to be very aware of that. And this is why I feel, in a sense, that when you breaking barriers, that the sword played a very important part when it came to me talking about barriers, because you have to understand, we just can't keep going into this dark path and not thinking about how to get the clarity on how to move away from that dark path. What I'm trying to say, you have to understand how important it is when we take the steps and straighten ourselves within. We have to stay on path with it. It's not just like we done it for this just to prove ourselves this year. What about doing it and prove yourself every year, and move further in life? Once you come out that dark side and break that barrier, what about moving, keep moving with it, not going back. We coming out this path, but we don't want to keep going back Once we break that barrier, break it. And not take yourself back. Be strong with it. Because you have to be strong with it. And that's what I keep saying, that's where that sword come in, because don't let it trick you, because it's two sides to it. And we can't just like be frightened for, and think that it's hard to do, because nothing is, we make things hard for ourselves. you know we make things hard for ourselves, especially when we're trying to go down a path. So yeah, I thought I'd bring this message today, and like I said, I runs out of time. But anyway, I appreciate those who came in. You know what to do. Subscribe, hit the bell if you're new. uh Leave a comment if you have anything else you want to say, or any suggestions. Just leave comments. And I just want to say peace out and have a blessed day, and I love you. Thank you.